Today, we're doing a device review on Neuro for BrainRobotics. Neuro has been on the market for, I don't know, maybe almost a year now. It's new, it's a new knee, and BrainRobotics is a new company. This is the second time I've been able to review it, so I've started to get more familiar with it and really do like some of the key features that it has, and I've been able to pinpoint who I think it's for, which we'll get to at the end, but I really have enjoyed trialing this knee for my second time and going through, you know, it's set up maybe a little bit separate from BrainRobotics. Like when I first met them, you know, I did the setup with their clinical staff and everything else, and so they were there to walk me through everything. Whereas this time, they sent me a knee and I set it up myself, and so going through those settings and everything like we'll get into in the video has been great to really get this knee dialed in, and I think that they have some key settings that are worth noting that will make things a lot smoother and more comfortable for the user. Neuro has some cool features like a walk to run, basic stumble recovery, stair ascent. It also has a power button that you can lock the knee out manually with, or you could mode switch it, have a backup mode and switch to that, you know, free swing cycling mode or whatever it is. It has up to 4 modes, I believe, are programmable inside the knee. The battery lasts for 5 days, and it also is a USB-C charger, which is really nice, obviously, just being able, peace of mind and comfort when we're traveling, doing things like that. Oh, I forgot my charger. Oh, it's USB-C, it's easy. I could get one at the airport store or in the gas station or wherever I am. And that, again, just makes for peace of mind. And having the power button that you can turn it on and off, you know, means that you can stretch that battery life out a little bit if you need to. And so those 5 days are true, but there are some benefits to the USB-C and the power button that really help you maximize the battery. It is PDAC approved, and there is a white version, pearl white. I think Gila, one of the clinical staff at BrainRobotics, called it Stormtrooper white when I first met her. And then they have the version that I'm wearing that is black. It's kind of black. I really do like the look of this knee a lot, but I wouldn't say that the color is black. It's more like a like navy cobalt blue, like dark gray blue gunmetal. It still looks good. You'll see in the videos and everything, but it's not necessarily black. First up here, we've got the stance lock, which I love. You just hold the knee for 3 seconds and it's locked, weighted out for you. And so now I'm comfortable and safe. And then once I release, I'm good to go. And then here's our button, our power button, our mode switch. There I locked it into a manual extension lock, and then you also can get the mode switch through there as well and power off. Walking, and I did something a little bit different on this review. Because I have some experience with this knee, I just kind of started filming as soon as I put it on. So here you can see I adjusted the main settings just a little bit, but I ended up pretty close to the recommended settings that BrainRobotics has in the Neuro app. And as I'm walking, like I feel comfortable, but you can see like I'm not walking as great as I could be, right? And so I just wanted to give an idea of how it takes amputees a little bit of time to adjust to new devices. And so as I started walking throughout the day, I started feeling a little bit better. And then I played with the settings just a little bit, and now I'm starting to get stance knee flexion and feeling really comfortable getting that knee to release every time, which this knee is great at. We'll get into in a minute. But one key is once I started getting through my settings and needed to open up just a little bit was going through my yielding resistances. So here you've got your main yielding, that is for going down stairs and things like that. And then you've got your initial contact resistance. So you want to mess with this one to get some of that stance knee flexion. But one thing that is important to note is going into the extra settings, yielding limiter tab. And so it's got a low, medium, and high. And those are, high would be somebody that really needs a lot of assistance and doesn't want to be falling back on that knee, things like that. So they're not getting any stance knee flexion. Like I was just alluding to, Neuro is awesome at releasing into swing. So here I'm taking a lot of really short steps, and you know, sometimes I get asked like, why do you do all the short steps? Well, like a lot of amputees do really short steps, especially when we're first learning how to walk, or depending on, you know, our situation. Like this is reality, and I have am in a lot of situations where I need to do short steps, and having a knee that one you can get to release on that short step and it won't just scuff the ground is really important, but then that you feel comfortable and safe on. So you can see the knee isn't swinging too far out in front of me, but it really doesn't scuff at all ever. Because it does have such a smooth natural swing phase initiation, it really makes it just easy to get that toe off every single time.
And then sitting in those types of things, just riding that MPK, the yielding resistance is comfortable and nice, comparable to everything else. Neuro does have the ability to go upstairs step over step, and with that stair ascent extension resistance parameter, that's how you control the angle that your foot lands here. And it's that same kind of scooting a paper motion that is similar on other MPKs that can do stair ascent. And then the stair descent parameter is the same yielding stiffness. It's that just main yielding resistance that is for sitting in ramps. Now we're going to get into some ramp ascent and note another key feature of Neuro, which does make a difference with all those short steps and walking and everything, but that is the extension spring that is inside Neuro. So Neuro has a very strong extension spring. So right here I'm walking up a slight incline, and you can see I'm vaulting a little bit on my sound side, which if you've watched other videos, I've talked about how that's just kind of mandatory on MPKs to get the necessary clearance to go up an incline. But the real benefit of having a fast extension while going up these inclines right here, you can see that foot is out in front of me quick, and I feel comfortable and safe on it. And it's less work on these steeper inclines for me to swing that thing, because like gravity is fighting against you when you're on these steeper inclines too. And so the knee is really doing a lot of extra work for me, getting that foot out in front of me, which is really nice and makes things a little bit better as far as just climbing, steep inclines go, because it's just a lot of work and it's really uncomfortable for above knee amputees. And then here we're descending now, going down inclines, and the knee is great again because it has that stiff extension spring. It really gets the foot out in front of you quick, and so you don't really have to wait on anything. There's not really a moment when you're going down inclines that you feel like, oh, this knee isn't going to be out in front of me and I'm going to fall on my face, fall forward, and go rolling down the hill. I also haven't ever really experienced it like locking up and getting that same sensation of falling forward over my toes. So it's really easy to initiate yielding, and it also is just comfortable because you can see that foot is out in front of me.
So that's Neuro. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I really have enjoyed going through this one, for a second time and getting a good kind of refresher on it and seeing like, where does this stack up on the other knees that I have been able to test since I tested this. So like I said, as I was going through some of the breakdown, I started with the basic settings and really ended up close to where, BrainRobotics recommends on their like selected parameters. But through the Neuro app, it is really easy to adjust these things from the clinician side, and then the patient side has some adaptability as well. But starting with those basic settings, like I was saying, I just wasn't feeling super comfortable because that's how it takes, an amputee to adjust to a knee and everything else. And that really is every knee I go through. Okay, here I set up the automatic settings. Now I'm going to adjust it a little bit. Now I'm going to walk on it for a little while. Now I'm going to go back into the app and really optimize things. And, through the app, they have a lot of great customization. I think that having a yielding parameter and then a stance initiation parameter really is nice, especially for new amputees that maybe don't feel comfortable with walking with that stance knee flexion. So having that initial stance yielding at ground contact turned up and then that yielding limiter turned up to high really will make this knee feel really safe and comfortable. But then as the user wants to progress and you as the clinician or the therapist want to work in a little bit more stance knee flexion and get a softer, comfortable heel strike, you can go down to medium and turn down that initial stance yielding a little bit and just continue to open it up until you get to the point where I am now, where I have the yielding limiter completely off and my stance yielding is pretty low as well. Stair ascent on this knee I didn't get into very much in this video. I'd love to do a more in-depth breakdown of like setting up that angle and everything else, but it really is pretty smooth. It takes a little bit of practice for any above knee amputee to get that like, sweeping a paper motion so that you can get the knee into the lifting, controller. But once you get comfortable with that, this knee really is good at, you can do it with the foot on the ground, the foot off the ground, so you can take your first step up the stair with the prosthetic if you'd like. I just need to practice a little bit more. But going upstairs on stair ascent is really smooth, and stair descent is just, descending on yielding is pretty similar to all the other microprocessors. But the benefit that Neuro has, like I talked about in the breakdown a little bit, is that strong extension spring really gets the foot out in front of you quick, up and down in all situations. And so you know that you're safe, because like for me, I need that visual cue of like that foot is out in front of me as I'm going down the hill. Okay, my foot's out. now I can step down because I see it there. And so having that strong extension spring that swings that thing out in front of me quick really is nice and makes me feel safer. So I think this knee really is like the perfect microprocessor for your first microprocessor. Somebody that like maybe is a new amputee or coming off a mechanical knee, this thing is awesome because of that ease of swing initiation. You're gonna get the knee to swing every single time. So you can understand how MPKs or knees in general are going to work. And this will give you that feeling, that comfortable feeling of like, okay, this is going to be consistent every time. And then as you get more confident, you can open up the settings and make the knee a little bit more dynamic. In my last video, I talked about how they really need a cover, and I have been fortunate to see a prototype cover, and they are coming. They look really nice. Maybe I'll give a little sneak peek here, a little blurry image, but you know, they look really nice. I'm excited to see them. I personally like covers, especially the ones that these companies are now coming out with that are made specifically for my knee. I want that, and honestly, the pictures that I've seen, these ones are one of the better covers I've seen out there, and BrainRobotics has good branding. So I like what they've got going. And so look for those if you're a Neuro user. That should be coming soon. If you would like more information about Neuro, their website is linked in our description. If you have questions for me, put them in the comments, I'll get back to you. Other than that, we'll see you next time. Thank you.